rookie out of James Madison. Second down. Again, the rush. Again, Printers has to run for his life, and he heaves it downfield and was looking for O'Neal Wilson, but there was no one in the vicinity.
Well, the Toronto Argonauts are last in the Canadian Football League in terms of sacks registered, but they're getting a lot of pressure on Casey Printers here in the early going, Rod.
Casey Printers just 1 of 6 so far.
Argo's defensive line runs a twist in the middle with number 79, Eric Taylor. He comes free. Ronald Fleming's in as well. We've seen Printers with a couple desperation throws.
Two teams that are 7th and 8th, last in the CFL in passing yards. So they struggled offensively in the air. Almost blocked again. Paul McCallum was hit. No penalty flag. Chad Owens knocked it out of bounds, and there is a penalty flag at the 32-yard line.
Well, Paul McCallum did a nice job trying to sell this one, trying to sell that contacting the kicker call. As the ball's gone, his leg is still in the air, but not really much contact there, just a veteran move by Paul McCallum.
On the return, illegal block, corner number 40, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Brian Crawford on the return, an illegal block, so the ball goes back to the Toronto 21-yard line. Much better feeling around Vancouver and BC this week for Wally Buono and the Lions, ending a 7-game losing streak a week ago against the Montreal Alouettes. Well-rested team playing a rare afternoon home game in Vancouver. Play action again. Lemon over the top for James Robinson again. Quickly becoming a favorite target now for Cleo Lemon.
The Argos offensive line doing a pretty good job protecting here so far, and the reason that's a story, a lot of changes going on. Those little arrows indicate the changes. 3 changes from Labor Day, all due to injury. Joe Appel in at left tackle, Jeff Keeping at left guard, Shannon Boatman in at right tackle. Here's a look at just what these 5 guys are doing up front to give Cleo Lemon some time. Pretty nice protection. Joey Appel actually taking a break on that series. Calvin Armstrong in at left tackle.
Lots of motion here for the Argos again, but this time they had it up the middle to Corey Boyd. Did not see a lot of the football 5 days ago against the Tiger Cats on Labor Day, prompting a lot of speculation as to why he didn't see a lot of the football, because Corey Boyd, of course, comes in as the CFL's leading rusher.
Well, and a lot of times the Argos are in situations where Cleo Lemon is reading whether he's going to hand off the ball or whether he's going to keep it. Zone read type situation. Everybody's keying on Boyd, so Lettman's got to keep the football.
First year back in the backfield again. Second down, 5 yards. Lemon will tuck it and take it himself and lunge forward, and this will depend on the spot, but it looks like it could move the sticks.
And this is a perfect example, Rod, of what we just finished talking about with that working relationship between Cleo Lemon and Corey Boyd. As Cleo Lemon fakes the ball to his running back, going to see the entire defense. Everybody's going to go to number 3, Corey Boyd, on this fake. The defense converges. That means the outside is open. Cleo Lemon goes around the edge because they're not keying on him.
Here's the rush. And the catch made by Spencer Watt. Has not seen a lot of playing time. Corey Banks supplying some pressure.
Well, this time the Lions do a better job defensively. Corey Banks comes off the edge, and he's going to key on the quarterback this time, Cleo Lemon, when he keeps the football. Lemon doing a nice job getting the eyes downfield to find an open receiver quickly as Banks approaches.
148 yards already in the air for Cleo Lemon. Spencer Watt's second catch, his young CFL career, and out of the backfield, Jeff Johnson plows forward, and they'll move the sticks again into BC territory.
The Argos mixing it up in terms of where they're distributing that football. This time going to the fullback, Jeff Johnson. Misdirection in terms of this motion comes from the receiver, Spencer Watt, coming one way. Jeff Johnson's going to release to the flat the other way. Play action once again, quick hitter. Johnson's open, gets a little rub. Some would call it a pick from James Robinson to help him out.
Hyman turns and fires the other way. A quick hitch and go to Corey Boyd. He's lined up on the line and picks up near 8 yards.
No.
This is what Corey Boyd is doing more and more as part of this Argonaut offense. His role as a receiver is growing. Jim Barker is very comfortable detaching him from the formation, i.e. lining him up as a receiver and seeing what kind of matchup they can get there to throw him the football.
Second down and 2 now. The 37 up the gut, close to another first down. Argos offensively last week, again only a few days ago against Hamilton, did move the ball with proficiency early on, but when they got near the red zone, they messed up. Had a few problems against the Tiger Cats, and you look back early in this ball game for Jim Barker's team. It might have been a touchdown to Andre Dury. They give the ball back on turnovers, and it was almost pretty reminiscent of what you saw last time against the Tiger Cats. But then they rebounded with that touchdown toss to James Robinson.
Well, that's something, certainly a good sign for Jim Barker's team coming off back-to-back losses, is to be able to shake off some mistakes, not get their heads down when things start going negatively.
Branshaw, the rookie kicker out of the University of Saskatchewan. From his 44-yard line, a 44-yard kick now. Shaw puts it up, and this ball is wide left. Tad Crawford gives up the single point. 8-0 Argos. BC Lions elect to take the ball at 37-yard line. Branshaw missing the field goal attempt, so it's 8-0 Argos.
The other right.
Men in orange have been stymied so far. Jonas Davis makes a couple of players miss. Talked about a rare afternoon start here in Vancouver for the Lions. Good body clock time for the Toronto Argonauts. How rare is it?
Well, since October, end of October 1981 was their last Saturday afternoon kickoff here in BC.
There's the pitch. And stood up and brought down, but it looks like it will be a first down. That's significant. A lot of teams have come in here and have always complained about moving to the west and have had struggles. Eastern teams have struggled here in BC for the night games when their body clock is accustomed to about 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night to play a football game. The Argos kind of licking their lips this week, even though it has been a short work week.
Yeah, surprising change for BC to give that up, give up that edge.
First down, and miscommunication as Printers went down in the backfield, and Davis, again, the feature back this week in place of Jamal Robertson.
Well, we talked about that advantage that the Lions have held over Eastern Division teams over the last several years, playing here at home in BC. BC Place, of course, up until this year, 24-5.
Printers in the pocket, fires and open. Making the catch is Stephen Black, who made his debut last Friday in Montreal. An impressive one, too, when he scored a touchdown against the Alouettes. His first reception of the day. And that's the end of the first quarter, where the Argos lead 8-0, but the Lions are on the move when we come back for the second quarter in Empire Field.
Similar to last week when they got into the red zone, turning the ball over on downs from the 1-yard line after having another big play to Andre Dury, not taking advantage of that.
Andre Dury, then the penalty for too many men in the huddle, and then unable to punch it in from then. Jonathan Brown, he's sure amped up for this game. Obviously, the former Argo talked with us yesterday about seeing the double blue. He looked so often down at that number 99 in double blue. He said it looked a little strange to see that orange uniform, but we'll hear more about him today as the BC Lions are marching now. 1st and 10 from the Argo 45-yard line. Printers back to pass. Flushed out of the pocket. Downfield, and making the catch is Geroy Simon on his 35th birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Geroy. Gets a gift from his quarterback. Special delivery from Casey Printers. Jordan Younger, the man in coverage on Geroy Simon on this play. He's put in a tough situation. It's difficult enough to cover Geroy Simon in this kind of space, but when Casey Printers starts scrambling, which means you've got to cover for even longer, good luck to you.
6th all-time in receiving yards in the CFL. Printers firing again. Stephen Black spins, and the cousin of Cincinnati Bengal, Terrell Owens, has been impressive in his first 2 weeks in Lion Orange.
Well, Stephen Black just one catch last week against Montreal, but he made it count with his first CFL touchdown. We've seen him with a couple of touches here. Gets open in the flat, tries a little shake and bake. The defender, Willie Pyle, not fooled, makes a tackle. 2nd and short for BC.
Printers in the shotgun. Jonas Davis goes in motion. Printers in trouble now. Spins out of trouble, dancing, looking wide open, end zone, touchdown, Jonas Davis. He couldn't yell anymore. He couldn't wave his hands anymore.
Well, sometimes when you're 5'7", you get lost among the big bodies on a football field. Such is the case with Jonas Davis. He goes in motion out wide here. Nobody stays with him. Defender loosens with him slightly, but as the scramble begins, nobody gets out to Jonas Davis. The hands are in the air. He's yelling and screaming. He couldn't be any more vocal, couldn't be any more open. The touchdowns don't come much easier than that for Jonas Davis.
Rookie Mighty Mite out of San Jose State, CFL Special Teams Player of the Month in August. That's his 3rd touchdown as a Lion, a big one here, early 2nd quarter. Casey Printers, dancing out of trouble, celebrates the first major score for the Lions of the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please give a big welcome to our man, Carlo? Last weekend, he installed a rainwater collection system in his garden and a composter all by himself.
Here's to smart choices and a job well done.
Way to go, Carlo.
Rona, doing it right.
Okay, we are ready for the saving lecture.
Yeah, you know all the sacrifices that we have to make.
Oh yeah, and the total lifestyle overhaul.
Oh yeah, and the condescending finger wag.
Oh yeah, the wag is great.
Actually, we can help you each save an extra $1,500 this year automatically by saving every time you pay with your debit card, your credit card, and with every paycheck.
Well, I'll be.
A Scotia advisor can show you how you can let the saving begin. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom concentrated.
Closed captioning of the CFL on TSN is brought to you by TELUS, proud sponsor of the Canadian Football League. BC Lions, who don't score many touchdowns, at least haven't this season via the pass. Just their 8th this season. Jonas Davis makes good on the pass from Printers. They're on the board, down 1, 8-7. Back to receive the kick is Chad Owens, trying to find some blocking help. Picks his way to the 40, still on his feet, and Chad Owens, who has become a sensation returning the ball this season, among the many sensations in the league, a 40-yard return.
Well, one of the blocks that sprung Chad Owens for that big return, the victim was Jamal Lee, usually one of the quickest Lions getting down the field, but he's become a marked man because of his special teams play. Big block by Ejiro Kwali. The Argos putting their best special teamer up against Jamal Lee.
Son of a great Canadian back, Orville Lee. A first-round pick of the Lions. Jamal. Oh, Cleo Lemon dropped it. Corey Banks picks it up and tripped up at the 20.
Tripped up at the 20, tripped up by the 20.
Exactly. Cleo Lemon absolutely lost the handle. And for the second straight week, Corey Banks has a fumble recovery. A week ago for a touchdown. That time he also almost went the distance.
Well, Corey Banks has that knack for being around the football. He's coming off the edge from the bottom of the screen. Cleo Lemon just loses the handle. As you said, Corey Banks, when you've got a nose for the football, sometimes these ones just bounce right to you.
Another turnover by the Argos. Printers immediately out of the backfield. Once again, it's Davis to the corner. No signal. And it's at the 1 yard line. And so far, Jonas Davis looking very good in his first start as the feature back in the BC Lions offense.
Well, what a throw and catch here between Printers and Jonas Davis. Davis slipping down the sidelines. Printers with a perfect little touch pass. Davis out of the backfield and up the sideline. Printers just lays it up high. He's got a mismatch with the defensive end, Ronald Flemings, the closest man trying to run with the scat back.
First and goal from the 1 yard line. Travis Lulay is in at quarterback. Hands it up the middle, and it's a touchdown. Jerome Messam.
Jerome Messam gets stood up at the line of scrimmage, but when